Welcome back to another episode of How Did They Grow? I created this podcast because I wanted you to learn how other coaches, freelancers, service providers, and course sellers are growing their business, landing 10 to 20 new clients every single month, paying them 50, 100, 200K months. See, if they've done it, you can too. And that's just the reality. And I want you to listen to these podcasts to understand what strategies are they using, what techniques are they exploring, because it's in these gems that you can apply it to your business and actually scale things up. When you're ready and you feel like you actually want to learn practical, proven methodologies, or even you want to hire a team that can build you a profitable personal brand, book in a chat with our team because we can guarantee you go viral and guarantee you get clients for your business.
And welcome to the show, guys. This is the How Did They Grow podcast, and today we have on Sam Alvey. Sam, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Smiling Sam Alvey. I'm an MMA fighter. I've been to one of the highest ranked fighters in the world, made it to number 10 in the UFC. I've been competing for about 20 years, had 24 fights in the UFC, been all over. I've been to 45 or 6 different countries. I've got over 80 fights. The last 2 years after leaving the UFC, I joined Karate Combat, where I became their light heavyweight champion. I'm about to compete for the heavyweight championship. And throughout all of this, I've been a coach. I have been a coach since before I knew what I was coaching. I just figured it out. At this point, I know it. I know how to do it. I know how to build champions. And so I started something called School, SKOOL. And now I'm an online coach. I'm coaching thousands of people from around the world. And I'm just having a blast doing it.
Wow, I think that's amazing. Tell us a little bit about, you. Did you always see yourself as a fighter, or did you always see yourself as a coach? I think that's a better question to ask.
Yeah, so I was not a fighter. Like I was a band nerd. I didn't. My first fight wasn't until I was about 21 years old, and prior to that, I just played. I was a semi-professional trumpet player. I played trumpet forever, and I was really good at just. Yeah, semi-professional though. I just never made any money. So as soon as I started fighting, again, I didn't know anything about the fighting world. Turns out I hit pretty hard. So I did well enough, and eventually they said, all right, we'll pay you if you fight for us. I said, all right. And I set the trumpet down and I started competing. It was out of need that I started coaching. I needed a team. I needed to start training for it. If they were going to pay me, I said I could probably work out. So I started a team and I just started making it up. I had no experience outside of movies, but I knew if they couldn't take me down, they couldn't choke me out. So we did a lot of takedown offense and just repetitive punching each other, and it worked out. And since the beginning, I've done a real good job of learning how to actually punch people, how to do it well, how to move, how to groove, and how to be successful at it.
Amazing. I'm curious. What are you? 6'3", 220? What is that?
I am 6'2", 240.
Amazing.
Most of my career, I fought at 185 pounds. Right now, I'm fighting at 205 pounds. So I get to bulk and then I get to cut.
You still fight competitively, or is it just with?
No. I still fight competitively. I am the Karate Combat light heavyweight champion. I've defended the belt 3 times. Now I'm going to go up. They've run out of 205ers for me, so I'm going to go up to the heavyweight and fight some real big guys.
The belt in the room, so the audience
it is.
Get a
here,
look
I can go. I can show him. I can show him my belt.
Amazing.
Title town, baby.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I am the greatest stranger on the planet.
Amazing. So how did you, what motivated you to get into coaching in terms of helping people strike?
So coaching at the beginning was out of necessity. I needed training partners. So I said, well, if I say I'm a coach, they'll come and I can train with them. And it worked out real well. And then I spent all of my career coaching. I was a head coach of some big gyms, some little gyms, some in between. I just coached and coached and coached. Moved out to California and I started coaching out there with Dan Henderson. And I just hated California. Like, I hate California. I loved my team, loved my setup, my friends and all that, but I had to get out. So after 10 years in California, I moved to Tennessee. Tennessee is not quite the same fight feeling as California has. There's less people, there's less fight community. So I coach a little bit, but it's not as much as I was, and I missed it. So I came up with my Italian friends, they came up with the idea that let's start this school idea. This is where you'll be able to coach people from around the world, and you'll be able to help people go from before amateur to pro to champion. And I said, let's do it. So we started building the site. It would have been last July, August-ish is when we started really focusing on everything, and we've been pretty successful with it. Because of my experience in the fighting realm, my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, all that have done pretty well for themselves. I've always had a bit of a personality and a likable enough guy. So I had a decent following there. So it was really, we used the social media to help get people into my school, SKOOL program. And that's what we're still doing. We're pumping out tons of videos every week for just the Instagram and everything. And then I make my separate videos and my separate calls and my separate everything for school.
Amazing, 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 amazing. So what's the strategy? Kind of share that strategy with our audience, because our audience is full of, young coaches. When I say young, I don't mean age. I mean just in the industry. They're kind of like stuck in terms of putting themselves out there, the strategies and how to kind of use that to get clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you have to stay consistent. I mean, consistent in everything. The time you post your video content, just everything you do needs to stay similar. I always say, think of yourself as a TV show. You're going to turn on to watch the TV show. If you aren't the same show you were last week or as you were yesterday, they don't want to watch it anymore. They want to watch what they wanted to watch. As soon as you start branching out in too many different directions on social media, people start tuning you out and they just, they swipe up without even hitting the like button. So you got to stay consistent on the time you're delivering, when you're posting, and the topics you're posting on. Make sure they recognize your brand with what you specialize in.
Kind of position yourself as the authority, right?
Yes. As soon as you might be an authority in a lot of different things, but to get the audience you're looking for, you need to lock down on one. Once you lock down on so mine, I do everything in MMA. I can jiu-jitsu, I can wrestle, I can punch it, but my specialty is my striking. I've knocked more people out. I've made good strikers. So we're focusing all my social media on the striking. Once I get them into my school program where I can coach them, where I can direct them how to strike, I'm open to working every other question they might have as well. Putting the other parts of me in. Once I have the qualified viewer working with me, then I can start opening up everything more that they might need.
I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning so much practical wisdom, because that's what I really wanted from this podcast. Now, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a team that can actually help you explode and go viral with your personal brand with proven methodologies, I say this because I've been doing this for the past 5 years. We've got a team of 30 people who are ready to go ahead and explode your brand so you can get clients begging to work with you. Have a chat with one of our advisors. You can book in a chat using one of the links around this video, because that chat might just change your life.
That makes a lot of sense in terms of the funnel. The top of the funnel is the striking thing, right?
Yes. The top of the funnel, I just need to get people interested in improving one aspect. Once they're in with me, then I can help them with that one aspect, but I can let them know I can do a lot more as well.
That's amazing. That's really, really amazing. I'm curious, how were you able to learn about, social media and funnels and marketing and all that so quickly while still doing your MMA?
Yeah, so a lot of it is my Italian friends. I've got Christian, Matteo, and Donato. They're younger than me. All these young guys, they know how to work the social media so much better. Like, I'm a hard worker. I will put all the effort in. I'll film everything they need. But they are little true entrepreneurs. They reached out to me and we built this together. And they helped direct me in how to stay focused. And we have focused more on Instagram than anything else. And you can see the difference between working with them and me working on myself. If you go to my TikTok, I've got a pretty big following on TikTok too, but it's much more scattered. I'm far less focused on TikTok. I have more fun with TikTok. Where Instagram, I do what we've discussed with them, and every week I work my scripts, I work my videos, and I keep everything very organized on my Instagram. Thanks to those guys.
Amazing. So they're like a team. They reached out to you and they basically your team, and they've been able to push you to where you are right now.
They've been able to keep me focused. Yes, they've definitely helped push me to where I am today. It's so easy to lose focus. Every person is a complex person. We have so many interests, so many things we want to tell other people that we get sidetracked, that we start putting too much out there. When I have the people from the third level, my Italian friends, when I have them look and say, Sam, you're getting too wide, bring it back in. It's okay, okay. Just having that outside set of eyes directing me, not letting me do everything I want, but keep myself focused on what is needed.
Amazing, amazing. So kind of like give a bit of that to our audience, because there's a lot of people who think that as an entrepreneur you have to be a solopreneur and you have to do everything on your own. Kind of tell them your experience with that and why. I'm sure you have been doing that for a while before you met your Italian friends, and why that was a no-brainer for you to work with them.
Yeah, it was a no. I knew what my weakness was. I knew people like me, people this, people that. I knew where my strength was as well. But I knew I want to give everything to everyone at all moments. And people lose interest in that because you're not specifically working on one aspect. When it came time to focusing, making people realize what I am great at, I had to focus in. And it's working on it yourself. You just don't see yourself branching off like that. Like looking back on it, I say, yeah, I did. Every day I posted something that was completely random, whatever was on my mind. Really having somebody on the outside looking in and keeping me centered on what my work needs to be has helped tremendously.
Amazing. So what would you say to people in the audience who think solopreneurship is the way? You know what I would say to them? I would say to them, if you could be an entrepreneur or you can be a solopreneur. And solopreneur, when you're a solopreneur, you're basically just self-employed, right? You're just working for yourself, working 70 hours a week. Well, whereas if you're
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, you leverage other people's hours. You know what I mean?
Yes, no, absolutely. I used to be of the same mind. It's like I can do everything. I know I can, and there's only so many hours in the day. When it comes to just my videos I make every week, between filming, it takes me to make all the videos, it takes me about 10 to 12 hours a week of filming. But then the editing, if I were
And
to
that's
do it, and
just
then the this
filming.
and the that. What's that?
I said that 12 hours is just filming.
Yeah, yes, because I have to memorize stuff. I have to make sure I know what I'm doing. I can't just wing it. There's a lot of preparation in it. As I'm getting better at it, it's taking less and less time. Like it used to take me, God, it drove me nuts at the beginning when I was just getting used to doing everything. But I've gotten much better at it. And I'm hoping in the next few months I can bring it back. Let's say I'm doing 10 hours a week. I can bring it down to 7 or 8. 7 or 8 will be easy. That'll be a blast. Um, Now the other thing is I have a lot of kids. I have 6 kids and they're all young. The oldest is 11, the youngest is 2. Um, and they keep me very busy. And I don't want them to see me on my phone. I don't want to see me filming myself constantly. So most of my work, excuse me, most of my work, I go to a separate building late at night after they're in bed. So I'll spend 3 hours this night, 3 hours that night, 3 hours another night, pumping out the videos, getting everything done. And then my actual school program, which is a lot more of interacting with people online, uh, that that is something I try to do when my kids aren't watching me, just so they don't see me on my phone all the time. It's just another little thing
You
I'm
don't want to
trying
give
to
them
work
that
on.
bad influence. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the way of the world. Everyone's on their phone at all times. I'm trying hard not to let my kids see it. I got flown to Colorado for my fighting work, and so I get to pump out so much right now because my kids aren't here. I've got 3 days where I've been on my phone and on my computer just 24/7, getting everything ready for next week, so I don't have to be out till 3 in the morning again.
Amazing, amazing, and I love what you said in the beginning about in when you were starting out before you met your Italian friends, how you so I can do everything on my own. I can do everything on my own, and you were spending 12 hours a week on just filming, and that takes away from your business. You know what I mean? In terms of it takes away from what
Mhm.
you're able to deliver to your clients. And this is the reason why we work with these coaches. This is why we don't work with type of content creators. We work with coaches and specialists, people who help other people, because we're able to cut down that time to 2 hours in a month, and we're able to put down a consistent level of content. And that's why it's been such a no-brainer for our clients. And that's what gave us this audience, and we're trying to drill that back into them. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
love the way you put it, that get those hours down, remove the bottlenecks. You know what I mean?
No, and you've got to. Otherwise, your life is on a phone. And nobody wants that. You started your own
Exactly.
business, so you don't have to be on your phone 24 hours a day. You've got to learn what your strengths are, learn how to use it, learn how to, instead of having to do it all yourself, get other people to help you do it.
I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. So tell us more about your program. Is it just the school thing? Do you have any one-on-one coaching or any higher ticket coaching?
Yes. I haven't. I'm working on traveling around the world, going to certain gyms, going to people who work with me on school to coach them for 3, 4, 5 days at a time. We're just
Mm,
new into the selling that portion of it, and because it's a higher end ticket, it'll take a little bit longer to find the qualified viewer, the qualified buyer. So
definitely,
most of
definitely.
what I do now is a lot of one-on-one coaching on school. So I send my videos, which go out to everyone that's a member, but then people that have questions, they reach out to me privately, and then we'll talk, we'll WhatsApp, we'll call each other, and I try and reward them the whole time. So I'm out in Colorado right now for the next Friday Combat event, which is happening tonight. I've got 2 of my school members, classmates, that flew in to go with me. So they flew in and they're going to watch the fights with me. We're going to get some work together that way as well.
I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I want you to go away and execute everything there is that you've learned. Now, one thing I will say is if you're in a position where you're ready to actually take things to another level, you want structured, clear guidance, you want a team that can actually help accelerate you, book in a chat with our advisors. Why? We can blow up your personal brand to attract clients begging to work with you. All you got to do is book in a chat with our advisors and we can help make it happen. Sound fair enough?